Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
A big day for Metro Detroit and our auto industry as a woman-owned auto supplier officially opens its doors. It's Dakota Integrated Systems. It will manufacture parts for the Jeep vehicles made at a plant in Detroit. It's a new facility built on the former site of the Detroit Kettering High School on Van Dyke near I-94 on the city's east side. Local 4 business editor Rod Maloney joins us now live. And Rod, this is a huge business milestone and great for the city.
It is, because it doesn't happen very often, Rhonda. And you understand the Kettering High School site behind me. It's been sitting empty for a very long time. But take a look over here. 2 years ago, this didn't exist. In fact, they held a big press conference at the time to tell us that Dakota Integrated Systems is going to start hiring Detroiters. And so that's exactly what they've done. Right now, they say they've got 500 people employed here. 400 of those jobs are jobs that are new and newly created. Now, let's go inside the plant, because we had a chance to go in and take a look at the manufacturing facility here this morning. It was quite an event here. They had the Detroit Youth Choir, and they had the governor and the mayor here as well. But this is what it's really all about. People on the assembly line making actual products. These are instrument clusters for Stellantis. So they supply both the Jefferson Avenue and the Mack Avenue plants, which are just up the street here. And that's what gives the company a reason to actually want to build this here, actually have them nearby, because it costs less to take these parts and ship them over to those other plants where they actually get installed in the vehicles. So Andra Rush is the woman who is responsible for all of this, and she started out with a small trucking company many years ago and has decided that she wants to make things happen in the city of Detroit. And she said she did it pre-bankruptcy, not even thinking that the bankruptcy could happen. But she did talk to us a little bit about what she's done, why, and how.
I was heartbroken and shocked at what happens when you have no hope. And I was seeing that in our underserved communities in our cities. And I said, you know, if we can locate purposeful work, and that vision also came from the leaders at Ford, Jim and Chrysler, Bill Ford, and General Motors, Mary Barra, but when you do that, I promise you, it is an impact that's life-changing.
And in fact, she says that one of the things she likes to do is to help people change their lives by allowing them to have educational benefits when they come to work in the facility. Within 6 months, you get those educational benefits. And one of the things that she's done is in many ways made it so that people could move through the plant and upward and onward. And so that's one of the things that she felt like needed to happen here. So a lot of the people that started out on the plant floor are now accountants or lawyers or other things, and they're doing that using the education that they've been able to get through their job here. So it's one of those things that they're celebrating. And like I said, the governor is here, the mayor was here. We'll hear all from them coming up on Local 4 News at 5 as we continue our coverage of this story. So reporting live from Detroit's east side, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Well, we love Andra Rush. She has done so much for the Detroit community over so many years, employing Detroiters with multiple businesses, and we're proud to see this new location there on the east side. Rod, thank you. The political fallout continues over that leaked draft opinion suggesting that the U.S. Supreme Court is poised to overturn Roe v. Wade, a decision that would have sweeping consequences for millions of Americans on both sides of the abortion debate. NBC's chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander has the latest.
Overnight, this new non-scalable fencing being installed around the Supreme Court after heated clashes in recent days on the steps of the court and nationwide between Americans on both sides of the abortion battle.
My body, my choice! Pro-life is pro-woman!
The question this morning, what happens next if the Supreme Court follows through on its leaked draft opinion that overturns Roe v. Wade? President Biden slamming the draft.
This is about a lot more than abortion.
Warning the conservative court could unravel other privacy rights like same-sex marriage and contraception, and taking aim at former President Trump's MAGA movement.
Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history, in recent American history.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi slamming the draft as an assault on women.
Did violence not only to women, but to the Constitution of the United States.
But Republicans like Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida are taking a wait-and-see approach, largely focusing on the leak.
You know, you can leak stuff out of a court which was really unprecedented. But let's see when you actually have something rendered.
Overturning Roe would not outlaw abortion, but would leave it up to state legislatures to decide whether there should be restrictions. North Dakota is among the 13 states with so-called trigger laws that would ban abortion with exceptions for the health of the mother if Roe is overturned.
It means lights out in North Dakota.
Abortion rights opponents say it will be the moment they've worked toward for 50 years.
It looks like we may have an opportunity to build consensus and pass laws to save lives all over the country.
It's already heating up as a crucial issue heading into this fall's midterms, with Democrats looking to capitalize, but Republicans insisting it won't matter in November.
We're going to win in 2022, and Roe v. Wade is not going to change the outcome.
And that was Peter Alexander reporting. Of course, you keep it right here with Local 4 and click on Detroit.com. We will continue to provide updates on our continuing coverage, which includes Brandon's forecast and what we're in store for the rest of this day on Thursday. And also, I've been peeking at your 5-day forecast and loving it, Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, especially thankfully for moms this weekend and beyond. But on this Cinco de Mayo, a lot of Cincos, or at least fives, double fives here. Mount Clemens, 55. It's 55 in Canton. 11 Celsius, Windsor, Essex. 14 Harrow, Ontario. And 58 officially at Metro Airport. As we widen the view, you can see everybody is in the middle 50s, flirting with 60 degrees. The clouds, bit of a problem here. Milky sunshine at best, becoming just plain mostly cloudy as these clouds thicken through the afternoon. So high temperatures likely only in the lower 60s and kind of freezing at that point through the mid-afternoon. Shower chances. Could see an isolated shower around 4 or 5 p.m., but these showers coming up from the south into our south zone around 5, 6 p.m. And then, Rhonda, most of us after 7, 8 p.m. with rain on Friday as well. Details coming up.
Okay, we'll see you here in a few. Meantime, tense moments in Southfield this morning as a garbage truck driver, well, he got trapped by live power lines following an accident. It happened in the area of 12 Mile Road in Evergreen behind a Sunoco gas station. We're told that the driver, he was trying to maneuver that garbage truck when he collided with a power pole that snapped and then fell right on top of the truck. Live wires. Thankfully, he's okay as he stayed in the truck. DTE shut the power off and the driver was able to get out safely. The freeway safety program called Operation Bryson is returning for a second year. It's named after Bryson Christian, a 2-year-old boy shot and killed last summer when someone opened fire on his family's car along I-75 in Detroit. Detroit police and other local agencies have committed to increasing their presence on freeways in hopes of preventing similar tragedies. Right now, there's a strategy session going on at DPTA headquarters, and we'll have more on what comes out of those meetings on Local 4 News today at 5. The number of new jobless claims rose slightly last week, but the number of people collecting unemployment benefits remains at the lowest level in more than a half century. Meanwhile, the Biden administration is taking steps to combat inflation, which is at a 40-year high. Bree Jackson is in Washington with the latest.
The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates by 0.5 percentage point. The effort to slow spending could make it more expensive for families and businesses to borrow. This as soaring prices continue to put a strain on people's budgets. From gas to groceries, Americans are feeling the financial pinch.
Food is high, the gas is high, the electric bills went up.
In an effort to tame record high inflation, the Federal Reserve is taking aggressive action, announcing its biggest rate hike in 22 years.
It is essential that we bring inflation down if we are to have a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all.
Increasing interest rates by 0.5 percentage point means things like auto loans, credit card debt, and mortgages will become more expensive. Republicans argue the economy is worse off because of Democratic policies.
Interest rates certainly influence the economy. We're having to raise interest rates because of Bidenomics.
President Biden blames Republican predecessors.
The bottom line is that for decades, the trickle-down economics has failed. as income inequity grew to historic levels under the Republicans.
The president touting plans to reduce the deficit by $1.5 trillion, saying it's part of his administration's overall strategy aimed at combating inflation and helping the country recover from the pandemic.
It's time to grow the economy, but from the bottom up and the middle out.
As President Biden seeks to reassure families, the U.S. hit another grim milestone. More than 1 million Americans lost to COVID-19. This is the second rise in interest rates in only 2 months. The Fed chair says he expects to see more increases in the coming months. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson for NBC News.
All right, Bree, thank you. Right now in Ukraine, the military there is saying that it's having success in stopping Russian ground forces from trying to push into the regions of Donetsk and Luhansk. Now, 6 people were injured overnight in a Russian missile attack that happened in Donetsk. This is the attack severely damaging 3 buildings, a school and a kindergartner. Now, the port city of Mariupol, hundreds of Ukrainian troops remain inside of that steel mill besieged by Russian troops. Some civilians have been evacuated and are getting help at a former sports arena filled with donations from around the world.